Oh, it's the Writers Roundtable. We got a great show for you tonight. Matt, tell them all about it.
The channel's locked and loaded. We are coming off the heels of the rookie mock to end all rookie mocks that's wrapping up right now. We are going to talk the Jalen Hurts precedent-setting contract extension, and then we're going to get into some dynasty dilemmas. What are we going to do with rookie RB landing spots? Which rookie running backs are we lower than consensus on? And then we're going to talk about some later first-round picks that may or may not have as much value as people think. Joining us today, we got Jack Cavanagh, and making his debut on the show is Jonathan Lange.
I'm excited. Let's start the show. Oh, and there we are, and there's the overlay, and they're in the wrong spot. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good start. Welcome, Jonathan. Welcome, Jack. Thank you guys so much for coming on this evening. I know it's a later time than we usually go, so I appreciate you guys.
Pleasure is all mine, and an honor to make my appearance next to Jonathan on his debut.
Are you kidding me, Jack? You're like the new news media outlet guy. You're the guy. So if anything, it's an honor and a privilege to be with you gentlemen tonight.
He's almost got. I mean, you two have. I know for the podcast audience, this is not going to resonate, but both mustache guys, both mustaches, and I will say, as a man with respect, very well groomed mustache.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Matt, something happened this week with a quarterback, but it wasn't Lamar. What happened? Who was it?
It wasn't. The biggest news wasn't Lamar. Something did happen with Lamar, but the big news was Jalen Hurts receiving a 5-year, $255 million contract extension with approximately $180 million guaranteed. Now, the question that we have for you guys, and we'll start with Jack, is A, does this give Lamar more leverage in his contract negotiations? And B, what does this contract mean for the rest of the NFL? We know we got some star quarterbacks that are due for some contract extensions soon. Jack Cavanagh, take it away.
I don't know if it gives him more leverage, but it does give Lamar Jackson more clarity in what his value is. Because remember, the market is the market. Deshaun Watson set the market at $230 million guaranteed. That's not the market anymore. Jalen Hurts, he gets $179.4 million, I believe, guaranteed, 0.7 million, which is, when you compare it to the contract that the Ravens offered Lamar Jackson, they offered Lamar Jackson a $250 million contract. So that's only $5 million total, less than Jalen Hurts just got, and $4.7 million less guaranteed. So I think this actually helps the Ravens out, because the market is now a contract they're already comfortable paying, which is great news. For Lamar Jackson, yeah, it hurts his leverage a little bit in getting the fully guaranteed contract, but does it really matter? When is enough when it comes to $250+ million? As for the rest of the league, I think it just means that he's the third highest paid quarterback among Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert.
What do you think, Jonathan? What do you make of all the Jalen Hurts news, and what does it mean for Lamar?
I'm not going to come in with hot takes because I kind of agree with Jack. It kind of helps everybody. So with Baltimore, it helps them because they get a data point that's not 230 guaranteed million. They're like, oh, okay, maybe we can go somewhere in the middle. And I need to double check, but I think there was an offer reported that was 200 million guaranteed. I don't have that written down. I just thought I saw that. And they have a second data point to use, though. There's another contract out there, so that helps. And for Jackson, just like Jack said, he kind of knows what his value is. One thing that and I'm kind of going to go on a rant for a moment.
Please do.
So you hear this whole thing like, oh, Lamar, he gets hurt. They don't want to pay him. Hurts, he's played 2 full seasons and has missed a game in one season and 2 games in that season. And he got the guaranteed money. So there shouldn't be any problem with Baltimore paying them. And I don't think there will be. I think Baltimore will pay him. But it's just that it just kind of deflates that whole injury narrative. And as for like the NFL, this is what we've known since the Watson deal. Great quarterbacks are going to get talented. Great quarterbacks are going to get great guaranteed money. This is the new NFL. And Burrow and Justin Herbert, they can start adding on to their mansions, and they deserve it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it it's good for both parties. I think it gives the Ravens something that makes them probably feel a little bit more comfortable. I agree. However, you said what I was going to say, because this whole, and I've been saying it for a little bit, this whole injury concern narrative with Lamar, I mean, you look at his injury history, and you can do that if you go to Lamar Jackson's player page on playerprofiler.com. And the longest injury, 6 weeks, 6 games missed, was the PCL sprain in week 13. But there's some, that may have been, I mean, he could have played. Maybe he was slow playing that for a contract negotiation. We don't really know what was going on there, right? So, and you look at the severity of all these injuries. I mean, yellow, green, not as severe as maybe a torn ACL, right? So, again, there's not as much concern with Lamar as there would be with, when the Bears, when it's time for them to talk about Justin Fields, so that's going to be a huge conversation because he hasn't done as much as Lamar has. I mean, Lamar won a freaking MVP, right? So I think they are going to get a deal done, but I think if this makes any team look bad, I don't think it really makes anybody in any one party look bad, but I think if it does, it's probably the Ravens, I think. But Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't give Lamar any more leverage than he had before. I agree with Jonathan and Jack. It just gives everything more clarity. It gives Lamar more clarity. It gives the Baltimore Ravens some more clarity. And I don't think the holdup with the guarantee was just because there wasn't a second contract, or that other teams weren't willing to give Lamar an offer sheet with that much guaranteed money. I think there are a lot of other factors involved, and I think now we saw it basically on the same day, right? And in fact, when I saw the news reports, I saw the Lamar contract offer, and then I saw the Jalen Hurts extension. So I think the Ravens front office definitely knew that was inbound. And I think the biggest thing to take away from this is that there's a new tick mark in the timeline of history. There's these precedent-setting events that happen. And yes, of course, it means that Burrow and Herbert are going to get more than Jalen Hurts. But I think we kind of found the range of guaranteed money that the teams are going to be willing to pay their star quarterbacks. I think, yes, we're going to see the anomaly contract, the Watson, the Kirk Cousins. But I think we're going to see every star quarterback get at least 70% of their contract in guaranteed money. And I don't think you're going to, if you start hovering under 150 million guaranteed on these contracts, I don't think you're going to get your guy long-term. So I think this is a precedent-setting contract where essentially the bar is around 150 to 175 million guaranteed floor for your franchise quarterback to become your franchise quarterback.
How good does the Patrick Mahomes deal look right now?
Gets better every day. Better every day.
I mean, I don't know, because it's been 2020s when they signed him. 141 million guaranteed for 10 years. Now he's going to get all that if he can play. I mean, he's going to play with the Chiefs most likely all the way through age 36. But is this? I mean, maybe this is a conversation we need to have 5 years from now. But best contract of all time potentially.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think easily, and the flexibility that it gives them, because it's so far out. You can you can restructure, kick cap down the road, and it doesn't matter, because even though it gets spread out over the remaining years, it's been like 7-8 years left that it's getting spread out over. So it's well done. He's gonna get a new extension at some point. They are going to give him more money, but it should have been the end of it. When Patrick Mahomes signed that deal, it should have been, okay, Patrick Mahomes makes $45 million. Everyone else is worth less than $45 million. And I don't know how that changed. I get Aaron Rodgers, worked his way, but that should have been the end of it. 45 should have been the cap forever until Mahomes signed a new deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Just had to say Aaron Rodgers, Jack. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. All right. So
It's a
from
trigger
quarterback
word around here.
Yeah, it's okay. We've gone like 2 shows without talking about him, I think, or maybe not. I don't know. At least one. Anyway, so Jonathan and I were talking before the show. He might break my heart a little bit. It's okay, but we're gonna shift from quarterbacks to running backs, right? So there are plenty of picture-perfect landing spots for incoming rookie running backs in this class, but we know some of them are not gonna get the beloved prospects that we like. Are going to fall in ambiguous situations, right? So in Dynasty, what do we do with talented running backs that land in unfavorable situations, and which highly touted running back is most likely to land in a nightmare scenario? What do you think, Jonathan?
Well, first off, situations change, talent doesn't, unless you're Russell Wilson. So I just contradicted myself.
Jonathan gets the show.
So if a player falls in the draft and it's because of landing spot, I'm buying him. The perfect example was Dameon Pierce, and he wasn't like he was liked, but he wasn't like RB1. But he was. I can't recall what his rank was, but he wasn't top 2, top 3. And he still produced, and even like James Robinson, his rookie year in Jacksonville, he was the only guy he produced, and he wasn't even touted at all. I kind of gave an idea though, someone that I could see going somewhere that would just make me feel nauseous. Is like, what if Zach Charbonnet, who I love, I think he'd be my RB2 personally in this draft. Like I love him. I love you, Zach, if you're watching. If he would go, like, what if he went in the second round? And I don't think they will, but what if he went in the second round to Green Bay? Because Aaron Jones has like a year left, I think. Like, or what if he went to Arizona? Or what if Seattle's like, hey, we lost Rashad Penny. Petey Sunshine, I love it, and it's like he's a UCLA guy, and so I could see him going places, and I might not draft him as much as I would if he were to go to a more open spot like a Dallas with only Tony Pollard or something like that, and a high-powered offense. But I still believe you buy talent because situations change. Perfect example is the New York Giants and Daniel Jones. Situations change. Daniel Jones nobody liked him. Nobody wanted to watch him play. And now he is a safe quarterback in Dynasty. Like, what is going on? So situations change.
What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, situations change. And it's unfortunate that Jonathan used Zach Charbonnet because he's the type of guy that is going to land in a really good spot because he's got the talent. Because he is so highly graded on people's boards, I won't be surprised at all when he gets not overdrafted. He gets drafted in an appropriate place, but I can see a team like the Buccaneers, like the Dallas Cowboys saying, well, We've already got a running back, but Zach Charbonnet is so high on our board. We've got to take him here. And that would just crush me because talent wins. Talent gets you drafted into bad situations sometimes, but either way, Charbonnet next year would be the bell cow for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. If he partners with a Rachaad White, that one's going to be brutal, but I have hope, and I'm still trusting in the talent, regardless of who the player is. Jahmyr Gibbs, if he ends up with Chicago, yeah, it's going to suck because he's going to catch less passes. Still believe in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hot take is that if Charbonnet goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'll just buy him because I am not sold on Rachaad White, but we don't necessarily – that is a fight that I will have to fight another day. There's a lot of analysts against me on that one, but this is neither here nor there with the question. Jack and Jonathan nailed it on the head. Situations change. You got to bet on the talent. If anything, especially if you're a competing team who doesn't necessarily need one of these rookie running backs to hit in year one, you can get a lot of value out of somebody who lands in a bad landing spot just because people are afraid of the competition, and not all competition is created equal. So, if you land with a Devin Singletary and Dameon Pierce, in Houston, you can overtake Devin Singletary pretty easily. So if there's an actual rookie running back with talent who gets somewhat decent draft capital, I'm not going to be that turned away by a guy who I don't think has much talent at all at the running back position. So you got to be water. You got to read the situations carefully. And, as for a running back who could land in a nightmare scenario, how about Kendre Miller? Didn't test, lower body injury. No one's seen him do. I think Cody said almost this exact same thing on the previous stream, but no one's seen him do jack squat in the combine or anything. He's not 21 years old. He's a young guy. He can get slightly lower draft capital and then get taken to a team that doesn't necessarily need a running back, but would love to hit on third round pick Kendre Miller and have that cheaper option and kind of let go of a veteran guy, maybe a Damian Harris in a James Cook backfield. I don't know. I'm not saying the Bills are the landing spot, but just trying to think off the top of my head of a spot that I think that might fit the bill. But Devon Achane as well, get drafted for his speed, really. And if he's paired with a bigger goal line back who's going to take some of those high value touches away, then that can be a pretty gross situation to have on your hands as well.
Yeah, I think that's a lock for Achane at the very least. No matter what happens, he is going to be. He's never going to get the goal line touches. So I think we're building that in for him at the very least. For all these other guys, yeah, if they end up as the Miles Sanders behind Jordan Howard, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys said it really well. I just want to add one point to it. In 2021, because I think last year's too close, but 2 years ago is maybe good data to look at. If you look at some of the running backs that were drafted on day 2, right? It was Javonte Williams was the first one, early in the second round. And then you remember this guy that everybody was pushing up their rankings because he got that landing spot and he got the draft capital. Trey Sermon, you remember him, right? Pick 88 to the 49ers. Michael Carter was a fourth rounder to the Jets. Kene Nwangu, fourth rounder to the Vikings. Ramondre Stevenson, there we go, fourth rounder to the Patriots. Chuba Hubbard, fourth round to the Panthers. And then this guy, there was another guy who was at the top of everybody's ranks, but then he fell so far down the draft. Kenneth Gainwell, Eagles, right? Which guy do we want now, Kenneth Gainwell or Trey Sermon? I don't think it's a question, right? So, yes, you have to hang in there with these guys. And if anything, if you do a startup or a rookie draft before the NFL draft and if they don't get the landing spot or they fall down, don't just go out there and sell them right away. If anything, you got to hang on to them and acquire more of them at their price because, yes, you believe in the talent, believe in your evaluation. And, it may not work out in the long run, but it's the right move. It's the right process move to make. Harry Snowman's got a couple questions for us. Is OBJ going to be blocking for Lamar on the outside?
Oh, my goodness.
No, I don't know.
He will occasionally, but Lamar doesn't need blockers. He's not good.
Yeah. Which RB lands in Chicago? I would personally, I know they have 3 running backs, but if Gibbs falls to them in the second round, I don't think he will because I think there's a chance he goes in the first round. But that would be cool. I would love, if they're going to take a running back, I don't think they need to. I would love if they took Roschon Johnson in the second round, but what do you guys think?
See, Roschon, I love Roschon, actually. It's no secret that I love Roschon Johnson, but I what I meant to say was I love that landing spot for Roschon because we want to look for a complement to Khalil Herbert, and we know Khalil Herbert doesn't catch passes. So box number 1, the running back's got to check, has to be able to catch passes. Roschon Johnson can do that. He's a bigger back who's more suited to take. They might be the same frame. I'm not going to speak to that really, but he can run in between the tackles. He can run outside. He's more of a complete back. Herbert isn't a guy, but he's a good 1B. And I think that would be I think that would be a really good landing spot for Roschon.
Could I add one more? Just why not? What about Evan Hall?
Whoo! Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
hometown
Northwestern's
hero.
guy.
I love
Yeah,
that.
like,
Yeah,
why
the
not?
local kid. Yeah.
And like they could probably get him in the fourth. And
Matt Eberflus is going to love Evan Hall. If you watch the combine, he's the guy that sprinted to the end zone after every single rep, every single drill.
Big boomer energy, man. He loves it.
Hits, baby. The hits principle. James, this is a perfect example of what we were talking about. Everyone in my Dynasty League loved Garrett Wilson. Then the Jets took him. He slid to 107. Perfect execution of strategy. So, yes, Harry Snowman. Let's see. Player profile was definitely Ted DiBiase.
I can dig it.
The $1 million man. All right. So, from running backs in the past to running backs in the future, Matt, what do we got for the guys?
Well, I'm most suited to ask this question because I'm generally the one bringing out the negativity in full force. If there's anyone, well, Seth, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, but if there's anyone who goes on some hate rants, it's definitely me. So I want to hear which rookie running back you guys are lower than consensus on, and I want you to use this time to fully promote your agenda against this player. Why are you fading this player? We'll start with Jack.
I mean, it's got to be Sean Tucker. And I thought going into this that I would just be beating a dead horse. Everyone at Player Profiler knows that you're not taking Sean Tucker. He didn't participate at the Combine. That's how he got the nickname Sean Ducker. He didn't participate in the Syracuse Pro Day, but then he goes and has his own little Pro Day. He goes and has his own little workout. Oh, I ran 4.3. No, you didn't. Whose stopwatch was that? I don't know. I don't care. So it's fraudulent. He ran and he hid, and it's fake. It's all fake. And you think, okay, well, most people will catch on to this. No, when you look at Fantasy Pros, he's the 22nd overall player. Or no, sorry, he's the 21st overall player. He's RB8. Tank Bigsby is 22. Sean Tucker should be behind Tank Bigsby. He should absolutely be behind Tajay Spears. The fact that Tajay Spears is behind him is ridiculous. And the pièce de resistance of just bullshit is Roschon Johnson at player number 25, RB11 on Fantasy Pros, and Sean Tucker's the RB8. You have Roschon Johnson 3 slots lower than Sean Tucker? Are you kidding?
Clip it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh man, that's what we were looking for.
That's great.
Jonathan, which running back? I think he's gonna wound me, but it's okay. You go ahead.
I think right now, Player Profiler Army's knocking at the door. I'm huddled. My children are under the bed. What I'm about to say.
Oh, no.
I am not that high on Izzy Abanikanda. I know, we're working through it. So first off, and I have a little bias, whenever you hear the term, give him a lane and he's gone. Okay. Like that just doesn't move the needle for me. Like that's just personal preference because those lanes don't happen as often in the NFL unless he's in the perfect, situation. And as you mentioned, we like, oh, Trey Sermon, San Francisco. Yes. Did it really? But he's better than Trey Sermon. I'm not going to bash him that bad. But I was doing some research and I found this. This was from Noah Hills on Twitter, which he's like he's just the running back guru in this. He's great on running backs. And he said Abanikanda ranked 18th out of 22nd in running backs in this draft class. And missed tackles forced. That just doesn't sound great. Like it's not broken tackles, it's missed tackles. It's elusiveness. He's got speed. He's got world-class speed. I'm not saying he's slow. I'm just saying how does he do on making guys miss? And he can do it, but it's not that great in terms of this class. Cody comped him to a combination of Ronald Jones and Melvin Gordon, and I just see a fast Ronald Jones. And I know that sounds disgusting, and I know, they're coming in the doors right now. I gotta get, but I don't know. I feel like he's going to need a lot of things to go right, and he will, and this will age gracefully. But I'm just not that, and I like him. Like, I just don't like him as much as we all do.
Yeah. That wounds me a little bit, but it's okay. It's all right. If anything, I respect Jonathan. I mean, Jonathan's written many, many articles on playerprofiler.com. He's been doing this for a while. So if anything, you need people like this in your life that you can argue with and still, because I'm a big fan of Israel Banakanda. I went on a big old rant on our last show. So I'm going to have to reevaluate some things, right? Because I respect Jonathan, right? I'm going to have to look at what he's talking about and, maybe rewatch some tape. And see if I'm, because that is one of the criticisms of him is like if the vision and the decision making, and that's in our player profiler rookie guide, which you should go get for $10 right now. It's one of the best deals out there. Cody put his blood, sweat, and tears into that, but that is the criticism, right? If he does get the lane, like you said, he's really fast and he's got good size. Yeah. So. Some team, I have a feeling like he's gonna get the draft capital because of that, because of the flash. But we'll see. And I love that we have conversations like this, and we can have different points of view. Like Aaron Stewart can be the heel of the company and be
Aaron Stewart's
Rashad White.
Wrong. Yeah, he's just wrong about Rashad White.
Yeah, Aaron Stewart's wrong. He's also wrong on Mock Draft Live a lot.
That is
quite
true.
a bit, and he's going down at Mock Draft Mania, which I mean, come on. I mean, you got to tune in for Mock Draft Mania draft weekend. So I guess I'm getting all the promos out of the way. But Chase Brown's my guy. I think you look at his profile, it's alarming. Like you look at his profile on playerprofiler.com, oh my God, speed. He can bench a lot. And on the rookie guide's not following it because Cody watched all the film. I trust Cody's opinion. This is an older prospect, right? 23 years old. And it says here in the rookie guide, his abilities are up there with that of Austin Eckler, which you're like, oh boy, okay. Well, what's not to like? Okay, but his physicality falls off when that comp is brought up. The burst and footwork are comparable, but Brown lacks the elite pass-catching traits and takes on too many carries that go for negative to 0 yards. So I am out on Chase Brown at his price, but I think other outlets are starting to catch on too, because I think other outlets have him ranked similarly to us. But even at that price, I think there's some prospects that I prefer over him, like, I don't know, my guy Parker Washington or Jaden Reed that's ranked below him. Jonathan Mingo's ranked below him on certain sites. Xavier Hutchinson's ranked below him on certain sites. Anyway, I could go on and on, but Matt, who's your guy?
You didn't even mention the Senior Bowl, though. You left out the Senior Bowl, which he absolutely flunked at.
I was going to mention, you can say that he fumbled the bag. He also fumbled the ball about 30 times in shoulder pad drills.
I was trying to plug the rookie guy. I just left it out. It slipped my mind, but thankfully, that's what the co-host is here for. That's what keeps me on the track.
They call me the mistake fixer. Wait.
Whoa! Hey
that's
now.
Not right.
Hey now. Man, I had ambitions of making you my tag team partner at Mock Draft Mania if Aaron were to, do something crazy, but I don't know. We'll have to talk about this now.
Whoa. You gotta tell me these things before I make these jokes. Yeah. I actually had something. I had a message for Aaron later in the show. So a little unscripted stuff.
All right.
So I'm gonna have to stray away a little from the question because I did specify consensus, and if we're kind of using this Fantasy Pros consensus rankings that we were looking at, Tank Bigsby, I am not necessarily lower on Tank Bigsby than consensus. RB11, it's about right with this RB class. Now in player profilers rankings, RB8, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry, I can't. I know Cody loves Tank Bigsby as a prospect, or likes Tank Bigsby a fair amount as a prospect. And I respect his opinion on rookies a lot, too much to fully fade Tank Bigsby. But when you look at him on film, I'm not a film guru, but I don't see the burst. You can see the burst on the athletic profile. It's lower percentile. You know, he has these dead leg hezzy moves that are what kind of keep him going forward and creating these yards after contact and extending these plays on the long runs, but he doesn't have that breakaway speed. And is this lack of burst that's passing by in college, is that going to pass in the NFL? When we look at his body, he's got a body type like Chuba Hubbard, 6 foot. He came in at 6 foot, 208, 210. That's right around the same frame as Chuba Hubbard, but he has 0 speed. So now we're looking at an athletic profile like Donta Foreman, but he's 20 pounds lighter. So when you go and look at running backs of his frame, you either find running backs that have a much better athletic profile. You find busts at that frame, Kerryon Johnson, or you find running backs that are a little bit taller and heavier or shorter and have a much better BMI. So when we look at Tank Bigsby as a prospect, I just get scared. And maybe if I was a better film analyst, I would have a better opinion on Tank Bigsby, but unfortunately I'm not. And so I just can't get behind it unless a really good landing spot pops up.
Yeah, I want to be on your side, but I have a lot of respect for Cody. So I feel like I'm more on your side than Cody because I haven't taken him once in any of these mock draft live. And he's really, when compared with some other players that I like Marvin Mims or somebody like that, like I just, there are just other prospects I like. And anyway, Cody's just going to have to deal with it. But hey, we can, as evidence tonight with me and Jonathan, we can always get along here at Player Profiler. Not me and Aaron Stewart, but some people can get along. All right. Real quick, we have one more question for the guys. All right, but I'm gonna run a quick ad from a message from the Podfather to all of you, thanking you for tuning in, sticking in there with us. If you don't mind, click like, subscribe to the channel, helps us out a lot. But here's a message from the Podfather.
Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in. It's important to me that all of our media be free, and one of our key missions is to make as much statistics and information and deep analysis available on playerprofiler.com for free. This is only possible because of you allowing a true independent sports media enterprise to thrive unlike any other in the business. So please subscribe to the All In package to continue to make all of this possible. If you can't do All In, that's okay. We have a draft kit. Or you can just subscribe to the player rankings. Those now include tight end premium FFPC ranks, our brand new data analysis package. Will blow your hair back. And of course, there's our Dynasty Deluxe and our DFS Dominator. Take a moment, check out our premium services to ensure that all of our stats, information, data, content is available to you, especially you, the people that get the site and get the show.
All right, Matt, we have one last question before we give the guys or ask the guys their bold predictions. It is Dynasty strategy. Ooh, rookie drafts are coming up. I can't wait to hear what they say. 109, 112 spot. What do you, Matt? You're a good team. What should we be thinking about here at the 19, 112? What question do we have for the guys?
When this was your question, but when we look at
was it my question? I almost put it in the private chat. Is this my question or Matt's question? I couldn't remember, and I was like, it's Matt's question. I'll just give it to Matt. But I can ask. I practically already asked the question.
Take it away. You got to have it out.
I should just go ahead and ask the question. So I'm not going to start with you though, because that's not how we do things. I'm going to start with our new guest. In a one quarterback. So this is an important distinction to make. One quarterback, non-tight end premium leagues. So You don't like having fun. I mean, good for you. Just sticking traditional, right? The back hit. So you're in the back. This is a very specific question. I love it. You're in the back half of the first round. So you're probably a really good team, right? You're in the playoff picture. You were in the championship game. So what are you going to do at 109 through 112 in those leagues? Are you attempting to move out? Are you attempting to move up or down? Or staying strong and trusting that there's going to be somebody available? What do you think, Jonathan? You might be in this position yourself, maybe.
Well, I actually am in a weird way, but nobody cares about my team. It's super flex too. But firstly, just Dynasty kind of 101. Your draft pick should always be available at all times. Always listen, say, hey, if you want this pick, it's yours. We can work something out. Just always keep your picks out. So I am a sucker in one quarterback drafts, and I've noticed this in the mock drafts that we do, like the volunteer ones. I haven't made it to the mock draft live yet. I think my invite got lost in the mail. If you take I keep taking Anthony Richardson, and he keeps going in that area, and it's like, I know it's one quarterback, but like if his ceiling is Cam Newton, like Cam Newton prime, like that's a steal. Like I will take that all the time. And I like CJ Stroud, but I wouldn't really take him. And the other guy that's in that area that I would take that no one's really high on, and I get it because there's a lot of he's had kind of an off. I won't say off. He hasn't tested well, and that's Quentin Johnson. And I would just take him just based on the alpha profile, because you can get, Rashid Rice, Tank Dell later if you want a string bean slot receiver guy. Get that later. Go ahead and get the alpha, but. That's what I'd probably do.
What about you, Jack? What do you
Yeah,
think?
I'm thrilled that Jonathan mentioned Anthony Richardson, because that's exactly who I got last night on Mock Draft Live at the 201.
Yeah, Jonathan, he completely redeemed himself with the
Yes.
Anthony. Just completely from Israel Banakanda to Anthony Richardson. This amazing, good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm thrilled to take him because
Yeah.
I don't know if you probably listen to the Podfather. If you listen to Player Profiler at all, you're probably a fan of the Podfather. He had a pretty good guest on this week, one by the name of Rich Rebar. And Rich mentioned that about 2/3 of top 3 scoring performances on a weekly basis go to quarterbacks. Go to a guy like Jalen Hurts, who has all the rushing upside in the world, has Justin Fields, all the rushing upside in the world. Anthony Richardson has that same kind of week winning and league winning upside. So I'm thrilled taking him. Quentin Johnston is another one. Cody said it the other night. You can't let him fall out of the first round of rookie drafts. I saw him go after Josh Downs. I believe it was last night.
Ooh.
Cody got who did he get? Was it Jordan Addison? I believe that he got at the 112.
He got somebody stupid. Like he just kept getting
Was it-
somebody. Like it was. I could not believe what you were. I couldn't believe it, Jack. And I'm not even your biggest fan because we've gone toe to toe ourselves. But man, oh man, that was rough.
It was Zay Flowers.
Fortunate.
He got Zay Flowers
Zay
at the
Flowers.
112. That won't be happening after the draft. He's going to be the second receiver off the board.
Mhm.
But you can get a Zay Flowers. You can get a Quentin Johnston. You can get a Kendre Miller. You can get an Anthony Richardson. There are just so many okay options at that point. None of them will blow your hair back, but getting solid, productive running backs at the back end of the first, getting Anthony Richardson, who can be a legit difference maker at quarterback, or getting whichever wide receiver unjustly slid, all of those are great decisions.
Yeah, I agree with what Jonathan and Jack were saying, but Jack hit my key phrase, which was none of them are going to blow your hair back. If I can get behind Anthony Richardson. As we clearly discussed, there's a chance when you're in that range that you're going to get Roschon Johnson or maybe Zay Flowers, I guess. So if you're in one of those leagues and you're getting Zay Flowers at the back of the 110, 112, yeah, absolutely. You're taking him and you're running. But if Quentin Johnston is the best player that I'm staring down the barrel at, and it truly is like Quentin, Marvin Mims, Tank Bigsby, Tyjae Spears, I'm looking to see what I can get for these picks because we've done some of these trade questions before, and I've learned my lesson by getting schooled by the guests. I took a look at the trade finder on playerprofiler.com, and I'm looking at what I can get with a 109 these days, and I'm kind of excited. So let me throw a few trades out here. We're at 40 minutes, right? We're making some good time. So this is standard scoring 2 quarterback, 12 teams. Team A is 2023 1-9, 2024 3rd, 2024 4th. Team B is DJ Moore.
Oh, I'm taking DJ Moore.
Yeah.
This is 1 quarterback. Team B is Deshaun Watson and the 109, and Team A is Jalen Hurts.
What?
Smash.
Yeah, that is a real trade.
That is I mean, not that it matters. Did you say 1 quarterback or
it is 1 quarterback.
Oh, I still want Jalen Hurts.
I'm still doing. Yeah, it honestly doesn't really change much for me.
No,
I would do.
Yeah, that's a good point. It doesn't matter.
You could do. That one's a weird trade. This is an interesting one. 109 Nick Chubb, 2024 first Wan'Dale Robinson.
Ooh. Depends. I think that depends on where you're at.
There's a lot of factors at play.
Yeah.
So what team, where that 2024 is going to be.
Yeah.
And where the other team is with the 2024 first, although that's hard to project. But I would lean probably the Chubb side. But
here's another interesting one. 2 quarterback, 109 and Rashad Bateman for 106. This is where we draw the line, right?
Yeah, I think I want the 109.
We want 109 and Bateman.
Yeah. You get Bateman.
Moving up that 3 spots. You're not getting Charbonnet probably. Maybe you get Roshan, but this
is 2 quarterbacks, so maybe they're trying to move up for a quarterback.
Yeah, you could get a quarterback, but it wouldn't be your pick. It would be the 3rd or 4th. The 3rd, excuse me.
Right. So I think the main thing here is, to some, I'm not overly impressed with the prospects that are going to be there in 1 quarterback non-tight end premium leagues, and with the value that I've been seeing on some of the 1-9, 110 through 112 picks, I think I'm more interested right now in exploring my value through trade than anywhere else. But I think I'm more confident in holding until the draft and getting some landing spot excitement.
Yeah, I think I'm always interested in doing this, so I'm interested to air this out and see what you guys think of it. If I'm in that category, right, I'm probably a win now team, and I'm probably looking to consolidate some roster spots. So I looked at the trade analyzer today, and I was like, I wonder what the trade analyzer would think is fair to trade up to the 102, right? Because trading up to the 101 is going to cost a lot. Bijan Robinson, we all know, but JSN, I think, might be a little bit easier to acquire, although he's still an elite prospect. Moving up to the 103, if you like Jahmyr Gibbs, right, that might be the spot to move up to. What about trading the 109? And this was about fair in the trade analyzer. I think the trade, it was about fair. I think it even benefited the person that was trading out of the 103. Packaging the 109 and a player like Elijah Moore or Bateman to move up to the 103 and get Gibbs. What do we think about that?
Yeah.
Pre-landing spot is just really tough to say. I think the silence kind of says it all there. But
okay.
I mean, I
didn't know if anybody would have a hot take. What about 102? What if you could move up to the 102? Is that a home run to get JSN?
I don't think it's a home run. No.
Okay.
I really don't.
Is it fair? Is it fair?
I think it's fair.
Fair.
Okay.
Take it,
all
Jack.
Right.
No, I was just gonna say it's fair, yeah, but I don't know if it's a home run. It's
okay.
I like it. I'll go and say I kind of like it.
I'm all for taking that risk to trade up to 102 if you have that offer. 103, I think it's more fair at 103, but I just really like JSN that much. Now we could have a conversation about where you value JSN, like compared to Rashad Bateman or Elijah Moore, maybe especially Rashad Bateman. I don't know, but I thought it was interesting. I think it's a good conversation, right, to have. But I'm always looking to consolidate. Like Theo made this crazy trade involving Kenneth Walker, and the Podfather kind of dunked on him. But I felt bad for Theo, because when especially in those FFPC leagues where you can only keep like 16 guys with a kicker and a defense, it just depends on what you need to do and what if you have to consolidate those spots. So anyway, good conversation. It is time to get you out of here, Matt. I stole the question last time. Do you want to take this segment of the show?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Jonathan, it's that time where we let you guys get out of here with the bold prediction. Sorry, was that already said?
I don't know. I keep stealing.
Sorry,
stuff
I'm giving Seth extra shit today. I don't know.
I deserve it.
I'm in one of those moods, I guess. Jonathan, well, we'll get you time to plug the stuff you got going on outside of this program here, and then we'll get you out with a bold prediction. So plug your stuff, bold prediction, and we'll move around the horn.
You can find me 7 days a week at 7 p.m. Eastern on Player Profiler today, each and every night. You can follow me at Cavanagh87. You can check out all of my work at Roto Underworld, at Profiler_NFL, at Profiler_CFB, running all the Twitter accounts. And we also have a TikTok, Profiler_news, that I am on. You can find me in way too many places. Just when you think you get rid of me, I am back. But my bold prediction, as you might have noticed, 49ers shirt on tonight. Trey Lance started getting floated around today as a rumor that he is on his way out, that the 49ers are taking calls. Apparently, this has been the worst kept secret around the NFL since the Combine. And at the Combine, the Minnesota Vikings were chatting with the 49ers about trading for Trey Lance, the pride of Marshall, Minnesota. Trey Lance should have been the starting quarterback of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. That should have been a thing that happened. But PJ Fleck in his ego said, no, you're a wide receiver. Maybe you play defensive back, but no, you're not a quarterback. He was wrong. Trey Lance had to go to North Dakota State. He goes 3rd overall, and the Vikings now have the chance to make things right, bring him home to Minnesota. That is my bold prediction. Trey Lance will be traded to the Vikings, and he will be their starting quarterback in 2024 because they're going to ride out with Kirk Cousins one more year.
I have to ask you, what do you think the compensation would be? Like, if you had to guess. I know I'm putting you on the spot, so if you're not sure, that's okay.
So I want to say a second or 2 seconds, a second and a third. The problem is the Vikings don't have a second-round pick. They gave it up for TJ Hawkinson, but they do have an extra third. So maybe it's those 2/3 and more. Maybe it's a second next year and a third this year. I don't know what it'll be. Because there are going to be other offers. The Titans are interested. The Falcons are interested. Maybe the Commanders are interested. So there will be other suitors, but I'm starting with the seconds.
Maybe a conditional first if he plays, like, remember the Carson Wentz deal? It's like,
Yeah.
if he plays like, I don't know, if he plays like 70% of the snaps and works out twice on Sundays, they get a first-round pick or something. I don't know, but whatever. Fascinating stuff. And Jack, again, you got to follow this, Jonathan. I'm sorry with this bold prediction, but usually it's me or Matt that has to follow it. So, Jonathan, go ahead and plug what you got going on, and what is your bold prediction?
Yeah. So for my recent articles, I just actually not too long ago had an article published on our rookie guide favorites. That guide is incredible. You guys and Cody, it's really awesome. And if you need to inject more Roshan Johnson or Zay Flowers propaganda into your veins, you should check it out. Many have been also saying that I'm on the short list for a Pulitzer Prize for my quarterback work and prospect profiles. Kind of a big deal. And I've got a Hendon Hooker article coming out in the next 3-4 days. I think that's what was said.
April 23rd.
Mark your calendars, people.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Ready for it.
So he's the last of the 5 big quarterbacks. I tried to get cute and look at the other ones, and I just didn't have it in me. There's no way. And my bold prediction, and I feel really horrible because it's also about Trey Lance, but and it's not near as good. I feel so invested into Trey Lance. I'll make this really quick. I got invested into Trey Lance because I started playing Dynasty last year. Just started playing Dynasty. And Trey Lance was like one of my first picks. And so, as you can imagine, it hasn't been fun, but we're hanging in there. And so I just want him to get it right. Well, Trey Lance gets reunited with his defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans. I'm really surprised. I listened to Player Profiler today. I was really surprised, and kind of makes me feel telling that he hasn't been linked to there. But I think they work out a deal, some extra compensation, and that 12th overall pick goes to San Francisco. And there's a quarterback that's had some bad PR, someone saying silly things, and maybe does CJ Stroud end up a San Francisco 49er? Maybe.
Oh,
Wow. I think your bold prediction was better than mine. I would also like to add 49ers passing game coordinator Bobby Slowick is now the offensive coordinator for the Texans, which just another check in your corner.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Well, that leaves me in this spot. Matt, go ahead. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, you can find me all over the underworld. I'm on Mock Draft Live. I think I don't know. I think I'm going to be on the game plan this weekend. I can't. Anyway, I'm terrible about responding to DMs. I'm sorry to Maddie Kiwoom, who's been like trying to send smoke signals, trying to get a hold of me. But anyway, I'm good. I think that's finalized. I'm going to be on the game plan this weekend. So if Aaron Stewart pops up on that show, I apologize. But so you can find me all over here. Writers Roundtable. We just got a Twitter account. It'll be in the description. Follow us on the Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Seth_DIEWOLD. And if you want to support us and creators like us at playerprofiler.com, you can go sign up for the all-in package, or like the Podfather said, if you can't afford the all-in package, we got other stuff that you can look into. But if you do sign up for the all-in package, promo code SETH or Seth, save $10. And so you're helping me, you're helping yourself, and you're also helping me beat Maddie Kiwoom, who's in first place right now, which I cannot stand for that. So go do that. Use promo code Seth, not Maddie. You don't even know how to spell Maddie, so don't try. SETH.
For those of you who want Maddie spelled, it's Maddy. So
Or Mattie or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's one of those two. So just try one of those two, and then if either of those don't work, then just do Seth. It's easy to spell.
Yeah.
For me, I will have a little written promo for 2 future stars that you can read in further detail about in the rookie guide. So doing a little written rookie guide promo, talking about 2 future stars, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, who are going to light up the league in years to come. You can also follow me on Twitter at Babich_Matt10. If you have any questions on how to spell my name, you can find that there. And you can also follow our Writers Roundtable Twitter account, which the link is in the description. It's _writers_pod. We'll be tweeting out clips. You'll see multiple from this episode. We had a lot of content go around in this episode. So you'll be seeing us more active there from now on. And now that that's out of the way, I have a little message to deliver for the one known as the salary captain. Months ago, I went to war with you on the Rachaad White dilemma. And I thought that, we had an understanding. And then I see you coming at my co-host, talking reckless, coming after my family. Do you know what happens, Aaron, when you come after my family? Do you know what happens, Aaron, when you mess with my friends? They tell me I got 2 minutes. They tell me on the screen I got 2 minutes. You know what happens, Aaron? Aaron Stewart, you just made the list. I will not stand here and let you besmirch the name of my co-host. So rest assured, at Mock Draft Mania, it's going to be Seth Diewold. That's going to be bringing home the belt. That's my bold prediction.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. I didn't think anything better could happen on the show than that. But I did forget, though. I don't want to, like this, we need to sit in this for a little bit. But I forgot my bold prediction. But, and I was gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers. But who cares about Aaron Rodgers? So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna give my bold prediction. But it was bad about Aaron. Anyway, we don't have time for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't make the show. Sorry. Thanks for playing. Nobody cares if he plays for the Jets or not. So yeah, but Matt, thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You're in my corner at Mock Draft Mania. Tune in. We've got you covered. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the program. And that is all for us. Be sure to like and subscribe the video. Any final words of wisdom before we end the program this evening?
I'm speechless. I'm speechless after the lift. After Aaron Stewart made the list, I got nothing.
He made the list. You don't bounce back from that easy. That's tough.
It's him and
All
Eric
right.
DaCosta. Just
And Aaron
Right
Rodgers.
Aaron
Rodgers on
Rodgers.
there too. All right. So let's see. If I can find the end screen, we will end the show. There it is, fellas. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thanks for sticking in there with us. I know it's late, so ta-ta for now. We'll see ya.
Hey, you like that video? Be sure to subscribe and activate those alerts so you get notified as soon as new videos drop. And be sure to check out playerprofiler.com. We have all the tools for you to dominate every type of fantasy league. We have a draft kit, Dynasty Deluxe, data analysis, DFS Dominator, and don't forget the player rankings to rule them all.